calls 911, he calls law enforcement, tells us where he's at, and then he surrendered. Again, that individual right now is in custody, and he is en route to the Escambia County Sheriff's Office.
Okay, when I arrived on scene, there was a Cadillac Escalade over here by the Discount Tire that someone had pulled over, and they had the driver in custody, but they shortly let him go. Do you know why that was?
I would imagine that when we first get here, we're looking at potential suspects, and we stop people from leaving at a high rate of speed. I don't know the particulars on why that individual stopped, whether it was related to this incident or not. All I can tell you is that the murderer is in custody. He is en route to the sheriff's office, and we do have one confirmed deceased individual here at the Home Depot, and we have an unsubstantiated report that there may be one other at a local hospital.
And is the victim male, female? Can you divulge that?
It looks to be a female victim inside the Home Depot.
Is it an employee or customer? Do you know?
It looks to be an employee, a contract employee with Home Depot.
Okay. Do you know if the suspect was also an employee?
Yeah, I don't have information, that much information. All I can tell you is, again, obviously we had at least 50 members of the sheriff's office, probably dozens of assisting agencies. We quickly surrounded the store, and then we cleared the store. At the same time, tried to provide first aid to the victim, but also at the same time looking and putting out a description of the suspect himself.
So now are you just interviewing witnesses, collecting evidence, and processing the scene?
Yeah, obviously we need to make next of kin notification. Obviously our hearts and prayers are with the victim at this point, the victim's family. We are working on that now. Again, we still have this as an active crime scene. Our crime scene unit has arrived, and they're doing their work. Again, we're trying to figure out the motive, and then our investigators are going to talk to the suspect as we speak.
Okay.
Right.
Anything else you want to add at this time?
No, again, we responded within, really quickly. I want to say how much we appreciate the assistance of our surrounding agencies, Pensacola Police Department and the Florida Highway Patrol. There is no longer a threat to the community. We do have the suspect in custody, and we're now working the crime scene. All right, thank you.
All right, again, that we were hearing there from Sheriff Chip Simmons. Now, you may have seen in that live shot that we had up some ECAT buses that were going by. Now, we have unconfirmed reports that those buses may have been going there to get some, pick up witnesses who may have seen what transpired there, and that those witnesses may be transported to the sheriff's office or some location to give whatever information they may have, again, to what they saw at the time of that shooting occurring at about 1:30, a victim inside the Home Depot there at Davis Highway and Brent Lane in Pensacola. Now, we were also able to talk to a person who said that she was a witness, and in fact she says that she called 911. She says she is an employee there at the Home Depot, and that this was in fact her second day on the job. We're going to hear from Jessica Persock.
Well, I came back from a lunch break. I went behind the counter to go pick up my trusty iPad I use for surveying, and I was talking to a coworker, and I heard pop, 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 like 5 or 6 rounds go off, and I realized it was a gun, and I told him, I said, duck and cover. And I went right up underneath the counter, back behind the main counter, and I sat there Indian style, and I called 911. I spoke with the nice lady. She told me to stay on the line. I gave her all the information I could, told her where the shooting occurred. I didn't see it. I just heard it, and I realized it was an active shooter. And then I was talking to her, giving her the exact location of where we were, telling her about aisle 3 and the entrance, and then I heard someone was hurt, and I said, also please send paramedics, and I stayed with her on the line until the police arrived and told us to evacuate.
I know you're still processing. It just happened maybe an hour ago?
Roughly within the last 45 minutes.
Have you had it? Did you check to see some of your other friends if they were okay? Or
they pretty much ran for it, from what I could see. I stayed in, out of sight, out of mind. Usually, if you run from an active shooter, it's more of a target for them. So you want to duck and cover. And I just called 911. I was very calm, very collected. gave the operator all the information that I knew. She was very helpful, very kind and compassionate, and just told me to stay on the line until deputies arrived, and then they swarmed the place. And apparently someone gave a very good description. They were found. They have the suspect in custody. And I don't know how many people were injured. I heard just one died. And then while I was outside with my fellow employees, there was EMS called. I guess someone passed out. Yeah.
What do you? I hate to ask this, but what do you think? I mean, like, have you even had a chance to think about just a normal day at work?
You know, the thing is this is happening more and more often. I mean, you see stuff like this on the news and you don't ever think, hey, it's going to happen to me. But I'm very happy that I was here today. I was feeling kind of sick this morning. I came to work anyways, and I'm glad I was here because I felt like making that 911 phone call really, my boss said saved a few lives. So, yeah, but I'm still going back to work, so.
And again, that was a woman who she identifies herself as Jessica Persock. She says she is an employee there at the Home Depot. She says this was just her second day on the job. And said she heard the pops, perhaps 5 or 6 shots going off, and she called 911 and said she gave all the information that she could as calmly as she could. And again, you heard her relaying the story there. The information that we have, it was around 1:30 this afternoon. The shots were fired inside that Home Depot, Davis Highway at Brent Lane in Pensacola. We have one female employee who was shot and killed. The alleged suspect left the scene, turned himself in. He called. He was at the Mellow Mushroom that is right up the street from the Home Depot. He turned himself in. Officers arrested him there. Sheriff Chip Simmons says there's no longer a perceived threat to the community. We don't have any other information about that suspect, no information as to a motive for this shooting. We did see some ECAT buses that were arriving there and perhaps still arriving there at the Home Depot. We understand, and again, this is unconfirmed information at this point, that they may be going there to pick up any individuals who may have been witness to this incident and taking them in and getting any information that they may be able to share with law enforcement at this time. Now, we do have one of our reporters who is trying to make their way to the scene to give us any other information that they may be able to glean from what is going on there now. Obviously, still a very heavy police presence there as they're trying to piece together what may have led to this incident and again, just reconfirming that there is no longer a threat to the community. But the sheriff is saying that at this point they certainly do not feel that there is any reason for any concern for anyone in the community. This unfolding at about 1:30 this afternoon. This person walked into the Home Depot, again, a female victim who was believed to be a contract employee there at the Home Depot at Brent Lane, Davis Highway. We will be having team coverage on this story this afternoon, of course, on all of our newscasts, 4, 5, 6, and 10. And of course, we continuously have coverage for you online across all of our social media platforms and of course on our website. And again, Yona Gavino is the reporter who is there. She is arriving on the scene. And you see that traffic is still there. People arriving at the Home Depot. We don't know that certainly that they are allowing anyone in there. We just saw Yona getting in place and getting situated for her live shot. And there she is. We'll be making contact with her momentarily. And again, Sheriff Chip Simmons saying that so far as we know, everything is all clear. No concern further for the community. So they've got everything cleared away there at that location. About 1:30 this afternoon, a shooting there at the Home Depot, Davis Highway in Brent Lane in Pensacola. Yona Gavino. Yona, I know that you're just arriving on the scene. Have you been able to get any information as you were making your way? Know that the law enforcement presence was very heavy, and that is what took you a little bit of time to get there. They were not letting anyone into that area.
Sue, that's exactly right. At this point, I'd say it's a safe bet to say that I know just as much as you know. From what I can see right here, still a huge police presence. That's actually what took me quite a bit of time to get here, just getting into a spot where sheriff's deputies would allow me in. Obviously, a lot of yellow tape. This is still a very active crime scene. There's a very long line of cars wrapping around Home Depot, just trying to navigate how to get around here. Again, to recap for folks just joining us, around 1:30 this afternoon, that's when we're told that a contract employee of Home Depot was shot inside. We're told there could possibly be another victim who possibly took themselves to the hospital. Again, we are still waiting to confirm that. But again, this all ended when we're told the suspect made his way to the Mellow Mushroom restaurant around Bayou Boulevard and phoned Pensacola police, and that's when he now is the murder suspect, was taken into custody. So still a lot to process. Again, we are just waiting to find out more info, but Sue, that's about as much as we know. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Yona Gavino reporting live from the Home Depot. And again, we will have team coverage that will be coming up certainly at 4, 5, 6, and 10. We certainly thank you for joining us. We will keep you posted as more information comes in. So please stay tuned to us on WEARTV.com and across all of our social media platforms.